You think there's any chance you're going to need a carrier strike group in the Gulf of America?
As a retired United States Navy veteran, I know firsthand the raw power of America's military. But what if I told you United States aircraft carriers, the same ones built to take on global superpowers like China and Russia, could be used to obliterate the drug cartels in Mexico? Does that sound crazy? Well, it's not. A top United States general was just asked if this was seriously on the table. His response changes everything. If I was a member of a cartel, I'd be looking for a new line of work and learning how to code.
Just learn to code. Coding is the future. Stop whining and embrace it.
Buckle up, because we're diving into one of the most controversial military strategies ever proposed, right here at home in the Gulf of America. And this details Donald Trump's attention to our border and, more importantly, securing America for you. Before we get started, hit the like and subscribe button, the bell notification, so you know when we're coming out with more content like this. Let's jump right in, guys. I've got a clip here. Senator Rick Scott asked a general, a 4-star general, what he thought that could be implemented in the Gulf of America to shut down the southern border. We've seen over the last couple of weeks the amount of spy planes that have increased, the reconnaissance flights that have increased over the southern border to like 18 compared to the 1 per month under the Biden administration. I want you to hear what this general says, and I want you to see the response of Senator Rick Scott.
To the southern border, which none of us hoped he would have to do, but unfortunately he will have to do to secure the border. Can you speak to how the administration is preparing for, and do you feel you have the capability to face down the cartels and other U.S. enemies present in Mexico?
Senator, I do think that we have the capability and the support to meet the requirements established in the executive orders. As you might know, we've doubled the number of Title X forces inside of a week down there, and they're operating in 7 roles in support of the Department of Homeland Security. And then we've also increased some uniquely military capabilities that will get after the point you made, the cartels, which are driving the illegal migration, and that's primarily through airborne ISR to get more information on those and figure out how we can counter their actions.
You think there's any chance you're going to need a carrier strike group in the Gulf of America?
Senator, at this time, I haven't gotten to a carrier strike group, but I will need a significant increased maritime presence in cooperation with the Coast Guard.
Guys, a carrier strike group in the Gulf of America. Do you know what that entails? Aircraft carrier, probably a couple of cruisers, maybe a destroyer, some submarines. We are talking major military hardware. We are talking firepower off the coast of Mexico in the Gulf of America. If the cartels thought Donald Trump was playing around, they have just FA'd and FO'd. Senator Rick Scott out of Florida, one of the states in the Gulf of America, wants to protect his state, wants to protect the United States from all the stuff coming in. Did you see that? We need an increased maritime presence. The obligation can only be on 2 forces, the Coast Guard, the United States Navy, and they're going to work in conjunction to make this happen. Let's finish this.
Yes, sir. Those would be right in line with what we're looking to do in the maritime.
Thanks. So, Admiral Halsey, I've been up here about a little over 6 years, and it seems like, and I think we talked about this a little bit, INDOPACOM and CENTCOM receive a majority of this committee's attention and a lot of their assets. I think we're seeing a little bit of change with that under President Trump. Southcom's area of responsibility faces real threats to our national security. As we all know, we've got problems in Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and potentially Colombia. So you might need additional assets, especially with what China, Russia, Iran are doing in the region. Can you talk about the importance of having the right assets at Southcom to be able to deal with the threats?
Yes, Senator. To be clear, presence means power. Presence means relationships. And so not only when out-of-area deployers come or the TCOs are moving drugs, when they see presence, it gives them pause. but also when we come down and work with our friends and partners in the region, they look for us as leadership. So when they see our ships, our aircraft, our boots on the ground, working with them again and again, it builds those partnerships and it shows that we are there enduring and we can block out the PRC and others.
Guys, I think what that admiral and that 4-star general said are making waves, pardon the pun, within the cartels. The serious discussion on whether an aircraft carrier could be used to strike the drug cartels in Mexico, I don't rule it out. Now, we've got military bases along the southern border in El Paso. We've got a base down there, Fort Bliss. I don't know what the hell they changed the name of it now, where we could send aircraft off of, but we could reach deeper into the heart of the cartel's existence with a strike group. We put some planes on there. We fly some sorties in and out. I only think it would take a couple of airstrikes to really zero in and precisely close them down. But these questions raised during the Armed Services Committee hearing with Northern and Southern state commands really bring to light how serious Donald Trump is taking this, how serious our United States military is finally taking security here at home. Over the last couple of days, you've seen Pete Hegseth. He traveled to the southern border. He traveled to Europe to speak to NATO, telling NATO they need to carry their own weight. J.D. Vance in Europe, telling the Europeans, you've got to carry your own weight. America's going back home. America's about to take care of business back at home. We've got our own crisis. We've got our own southern border issue. And we've deployed too many young men and women to spill their own blood on other countries' borders while leaving our back door wide open. But do not rule out the possibility of the United States using aircraft carriers. Donald Trump will not leave anything on the table to keep America safe. Now, the pros of using aircraft carriers, massive firepower. They can bring 60 to 90 aircraft, fighter jets, helicopters, drones. The mobility and strike capability basically makes an airbase a floating airbase. We got 5,000 people on an aircraft carrier with a full flight crew, right? The redundant capability, I like redundancy whenever it comes to securing America. The high cost, I think it's about $800 million to run one of these things for 100 days or $8 billion for 1,000 days. Donald Trump's only got about 1,400 days left in office. I'm okay with spending $8 billion right here at home. I don't think it'll take that much. Is this the best option? I don't know. I don't get paid to make those decisions. But I believe the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, I believe they will help make those decisions. And I think the cartels are going to make Donald Trump and the leadership here in America make the right decision for us, not for the Mexican president, not for the Mexican government, not for the Mexican people, and damn sure not for the Mexican drug cartels. It is time. We all voted for it. You see it right here. It's time to put America first. And if that means taking out some cartels, let's do it. Buckle up. Go Navy. I want to thank all the men and women in uniform across all branches of service for serving. I served. Thank you for picking up the watch. I'm the vet biker. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you on the road. I'm going to say rest in peace to all the cartel members. Take care. Go Navy.
And can an amen and a boom shakalaka go right there?